Welcome back into Fox 13 News. Now, the NTSB says it may have found some pieces of wreckage of the float plane that crashed near Whidbey Island on Sunday. Remember, all 10 people on board died, but finding the plane, which may hold the answers for investigators, it's been a very slow process. Friends of the victims are now wondering what's taking so long.
Fox 13's Matt Markovich is looking into the investigation and what the NTSB may have discovered. Matt.
Well, some potentially positive news to this tragedy that left many people wondering what went wrong.
911, what is the address of the emergency?
We are in Puget Sound across from Whitney Bay. There was a plane crash.
You can clearly hear the emotion in the voices of the 911 callers.
Oh, no. How large of a plane is it?
Was it a plane comfort aid? Like a seaplane?
All right, just one moment. Well, are you reporting the aircraft accident? Are you with any of the parties involved now?
Nothing.
I can't hear you, hon.
There's nothing left.
There's nothing left. Has it already sunk?
Yeah.
The NTSB now confirming that it may have found potential airline debris yesterday using a multi-beam and side-scan sonar provided by NOAA, saying the mapping effort identified targets on the seafloor in the area we expect to find airline debris. It has not been confirmed at this time if they are part of the aircraft. The next phase is a visual confirmation that those targets are or not part of the aircraft. The NTSB spokesperson telling us due to the depth of the water, which is 100 to 200 feet, and the current 3 to 5 knots, the most suitable tool for visual confirmation is a remotely operated vehicle, or ROV. Meantime, the search for what could have caused the crash continues. Investigators looking at every possible reason, including weather.
And what I found is there was a very, very sharp wind shift line.
Veteran atmospheric scientist and UW professor Cliff Mass went back and studied weather measurements of the crash area.
At the exact time and location of the crash, there was this very sharp wind shift from northwesterly winds from the northwest, to southerly winds.
He says the push, then pull of what he estimates was a 10 to 20 knot wind happens about a dozen times a year in the area. He is not speculating the wind shift caused the crash, just that's what was happening at the time.
The thing about it is not only there's a large shift near the surface, but there's also a big change in wind with height. We call that wind shear or vertical wind shear. And that can produce turbulence, eddies in the atmosphere where the air moves up and down, so you get that bumpiness if you're flying.
The telemetry of the flight shows the pilot left Friday Harbor. The yellow line shows he kept a steady airspeed of 140 miles per hour, flying relatively low at 600 feet, and then started a stair-step climb, which is not unusual. But in a more detailed view of the last moments of the flight, his airspeed dropped dramatically as he starts his climb again. Again, the orange line is the airspeed, and the blue line is altitude. And just as he starts his stair-step climb to 1,000 feet, his airspeed drops to 80 knots, and the climb turns into a deep dive.
Now, the NTSB is coordinating with its federal partners and private companies to use an ROV on the search. There's just no timetable on when that will take place. Back to you guys.